Chega mais,
KK.
e vamos decolar. Vem, se jogando, se agitando, eu sei a vontade que cê tá, meu bem. Não se amarra, só se joga, deixa o corpo balançar.
Deixa fluir, toda vibe positiva aqui. Quem escuta não deixa de ouvir. Contamina a autoestima, hoje eu vou me divertir.
Não tem hora pra acabar, então bora se jogar. Esquece tudo, é agora. Não tem hora pra acabar, então bora se jogar. Esquece tudo e vamos decolar.
Arthur Tuts 2000 agora. Decolei distante, toco em nebulosas. Olha como o espaço daqui é bonito. Cantei no ouvido de um meteorito. Saturno com ciúmes me fez uma prosa. Na nave, o mundo é um baile. Just dance, não pare. Se prepare pra parir.
Tem hora pra acabar, então bora se jogar. Esquece tudo, é agora. Não tem hora pra acabar, bora se jogar. Esquece tudo e vamos decolar.
Muito bem, meu povos, minhas povas, todo mundo, meus queridos amigos, boa noite para vocês. Como é que vocês estão? Espero que vocês estejam bem. Eu estou bem. Tentei hoje à tarde fazer uma live de Dauntless, mas o jogo tá meio bugado, então não sei o que estava acontecendo. Estamos com os meus amigos aqui no Discord. Então vamos dar-lhe, né? Vamos abrir este joguinho queridão que estamos. Um salve para o Lucas. Tá aqui desde que começou já. Um salve pro Scott, que chegou agora também. Vlad, para, Vlad. Mas o meu gato tá muito enlouquecido hoje, cara. Olha, Deus o livre. Meu Senhor amado. Tá complicado. Show. Jogo. Vamos lá continuar essa bela saga aqui do Vampyr. Eu tô bem ansiosa. Para, Vlad. Vlad, aquieta, Vlad! E a notificação já cheguei igual a velocidade do Steven. Isso aí! Meu gato tá mais louco que o Batman, socorro! Vamos lá, continuar. Chantagem em Whitechapel. Nós que lute. O Vlad é danado. Sim, nossa, ele tá aqui, ó. Louco, pulando nas cobertas. Bem louco. Ai, ai, ai. Vlad. Socorro. Tente combinar as habilidades para executar combos mortíferos. O gato é doido, o gato é doido. Estado de distrito grave. Vlad, para, quieta, Vlad. Fiz um de cada, né? Eu não consegui fazer esse aqui. Deus, acalma, Vlad. Calma, peraí. E as armas? Não consigo melhorar? Esse jogo é de ação? Sim, é de ação. Melhorar as minhas armas hoje. Essa arma aqui é muito lenta. Não dava pra fazer nada, né? Arrumou. Vlad. Qual é que vai ser, cara? Qual é que vai ser? Hein? Qual é que vai ser? Hein, gatinho? Tá bem louco? Vai brincar lá nos seus brinquedinhos, vai? Não, os cabos não. Tá, tu quer deitar? Então tá, deita aqui. Para, se for pra me morder, tu vai descer.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Você vai jogar Steven Universe Unleashed the Light algum dia? Sim, só que eu não consegui o jogo ainda, Lucas. Eu tô tentando, porque só tem o jogo pra celular por enquanto, ainda não tem pra computador. Meu celular tá descarregando. Beijo, Lucas.
This is despicable.
Caraca. Muita gente. Carai. O cara tá lá embaixo.
Bem,
Mano do céu.
I have this thirst for blood.
Tá aqui por onde eu vim, né?
This is despicable.
Ah, mas não foi por aqui que eu vim? Foi, né? What? Mas... 118 metros. Pra cá. Acho que eu tenho que sair daqui. Ah, eu tô no mesmo lugar. Que confusão! Muito confuso. Alguns inimigos, tal como os caos cegos e pregadores, conseguem sentir. Vlad. Vlad. Tem bagunça. Para, Vlad. Gente, mas não foi por aqui que eu vim. Confuso, deixa eu olhar o mapa. Ah, não, onde eu tô. Hum. Eita! O jogo se fechou. Que legal. Cara, tão perdido quanto o maluco ali embaixo. Mano, o jogo fechou sozinho. Olha que delícia. Hoje é o dia, cara. Hoje é o dia. Eu acho que é a Epic Games que tá bugada, por isso que o Dauntless tava com problema. Provavelmente esse foi o total sentido do negócio. Bom, mas eu não vou lá então. Não tinha nada naquele prédio. Que bosta. É essa a direção. Direção.
Look at it!
Nessa direção. Cara. What? Vlad. Vai pra lá, vai.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Gente, será que eu sou obrigada a matar esses?
More and more of these bloody leeches every night. Aye. But the guards more. Silence!
Te acalmou? Não te acalmou, cara. Poxa vida, então fica aí no chão. Gente, tô ouvindo uma criança.
Whitechapel. This neighborhood is linked somehow to the kind Lady Ashbury's blackmail. First, let's find this Petrescu fellow.
Vamos lá, encontrar Darius Petrescu e conversar com ele. Isso aqui é um açougue? Moço, você tá bem? Tá com coronavírus ou você morreu? Ah, esse cara tá mal. Me lembro.
Are you all right?
The bastard hit the wall next to me. I don't even know if he meant to miss.
If you've been hurt, I can help you. I'm a doctor.
Name's Albert. Remember it. Now bugger off.
What happened? Did you really steal that man's medication?
Hey, I didn't do anything. It ain't me.
All right. Perhaps the poor drunk just confused you with someone else.
Sod off, mister. You ain't got no clue what's going on here. Bastard was a soldier in the war, so now he's got the right to shoot me.
It's true. I'm not familiar with this part of town. Perhaps you could help me.
I said sod off. Go find yourself another guide.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? If you know anything about her, I'd appreciate it.
Never heard of her. She's pretty, I'll keep an eye out.
I found the recruiter you were expecting. He's dead, but he carried a note. The Wet Boot Boys have accepted your application.
I knew it! I told you I was tough enough. I'll be free soon.
What?
This note was found on a dead man, Albert. If that doesn't change your mind, then you must be ready to face the risks.
You're all fancy words, none of which concern me. Go worry about someone else. I'm fine and I have a future here.
Amigo.
Do you need assistance?
Please. Feeling tired these days.
Fadiga.
There you go. Let's hope nobody steals it from you.
Very funny.
Goodbye, young man.
I won't end up another drunk arsehole littering the streets. Not me.
Someday you'll understand. You've wasted your life away.
The wet boots will be
What?
proud.
Shooting a boy in the middle of the street. Not the best thing to do, wouldn't you say?
What? You saw what happened? Who are you?
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you promise me to set your gun aside.
No. Look, I'm not a violent man. I'm Benjamin Palmer, doctor. And no one can help me.
Por
Not
que,
even
amigo?
you.
Por que que ninguém pode te ajudar?
What can you tell me about this place?
Nothing to say, really. This is where I used to live, and this is where I live now.
You mean you used to have a better life?
Yeah, I had a wife, a home, and a job. I even used to have a name. And now I'm just Ben. Ben the Tramp.
You don't have anywhere to go? No family that would welcome you?
Not since the death of my wife, Albert's mother. She was sick, you see. Long before the flu and all this shit.
E aí, galera que tá no Discord, quais as suas suspeitas? Como é que tu acha que ele virou vampiro até agora? Tem alguma dedução? Mano, tipo, isso parece ser uma doença que tá se espalhando na real e não... Não, tipo... Alguma coisa assim,
Whatever the boy
sabe?
did, I'm sure he didn't deserve a public execution.
I swear I didn't want to hit him. It's just that I'm sick in the head, you see, and the boy just frayed me last nerve.
What is it, Benjamin? It was the war, wasn't it? Your nerves are shot, aren't they? I need some answers, Private. From one soldier to another.
The doctors called me a liar, a coward. Put me in a straitjacket, locked me up. Finally, they sent me back to the front lines with a handful of tablets.
What about those we left behind, face down in the mud? You want to change places with them? You cannot waste your chance at life this way.
It's not that simple. I wouldn't have expected you to understand. I don't even know why I spoke to you in the first place.
Putz. Pista fracassou. Não, vamos de novo.
What is it, Benjamin? It was the war, wasn't it? Your nerves are shot, aren't they? I need some answers, Private. From one soldier to another.
The doctors called me a liar, a coward. Put me in a straitjacket, locked me up. Finally, they sent me back to the front lines with a handful of tablets.
What about those we left behind, face down in the mud? You want to change places with them? You cannot waste your chance at life this way.
It's not that simple. I wouldn't have expected you to understand. I don't even know why I spoke to you in the first place.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital?
Isso quer dizer que eu posso
Have you heard anything?
ficar sem pistas se eu não falar de uma forma direita
I need some pills.
com eles.
But the woman is a phantom, if you ask me.
Really? And why is that?
Word is she ain't real. She's a cover for some doctor who runs an illegal dispensary for migrants.
You don't seem well, Benjamin. Do you need any help?
I always feel ill, sir. It's like I'm never right.
Tratamento para enxaqueca. Tá. Ah, eu não tenho. Fudeu.
I will see you later. A gun, alcohol, and a bad temper make a terrible cocktail, sir. Goodbye for now.
The wet boots will be proud of me.
Como é que tá esse distrito, então? Enxaqueca. E esse cara aqui... Resfriado. Eu tenho. Peraí. Tá. Gente, impressão minha, vocês também estão ouvindo uma criança.
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place.
Tônico.
The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
Ah, posso comprar coisas com elas.
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
What do you think of the locals?
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my remedy.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
Interessante.
I'd
Vamos ver o
like
que
to see
ela tem.
what kind of medicine you're selling.
Tônico. Oh, merda. Tá, mas eu achei interessante isso. Tá, tudo. Crises com enxaquecas, ó. Dor e tosse. Soluções médicas.
When science fails you, this elixir will give you faith again.
Ali. Vem cá, amigo, vamos conversar.
Good evening, sir. Do you remember me?
If you're here for a reward, you'll be sorely disappointed. But I'll gladly shake the hand of a fellow countryman.
I'm not here for a bounty. I'm a doctor. Dr. Reed from the Pembroke.
A doctor? In Whitechapel? What an opportunity. My name's Bates, Cadogan Bates.
Do you require assistance, Mr. Bates?
Not me, but your skills could help a lot of people round here. That would help my business, because I say, a live tenant's a paying tenant.
Amigo, me dá uma
It's unusual to see someone so
pista
happy around
interessante,
here,
cara.
especially considering the current situation.
Why should I be sad now? There've always been wars, disease, tragedy. There always will be.
That's an unusual way of seeing things in these trying times.
I don't see why I should shed a tear for another man's woes. I'm healthy, and I intend to stay so.
What help could I possibly be to your business?
That's simple. I already get good money from all those fleeing the war. Can you imagine what they'd be willing to pay if I could offer medical assistance too?
Mr. Bates, do not make me regret saving your life in this quarantine zone.
I understand, Dr. Reed, you're from a good family. Don't want to get your hands dirty. That's fine. I'll be happy to act as your middleman.
I've no interest in money. Perhaps one night I will visit you and take what I require. If that should happen, there will be no need for a middleman.
So it's a no then. That's too bad. The Reed tonic could have really helped people, you know, save lives. Isn't that what you do? I mean, people buy that Swanborough shit.
What is your business exactly?
I offer fair lodgings for a modest price
Tá muito
to the
suspeito,
poor
cara.
and weary of Whitechapel.
I see. And what about those who cannot pay?
Para,
Well,
Vlad.
deals can be done, if you know what I mean. Money's not the only currency. After all, I'm not immune to a pretty face.
Opa, pista disponível.
I don't approve of your actions, but I know very little about this borough other than its reputation. There are always necessary evils.
A necessary evil. That's one way to think about it. Knew you had more smarts than all these immigrants.
Tell me, what's your honest opinion of the increasing violence in London?
People are just beginning to discover what we've always known. This city's rotten to the core. They just took their bloody time to wake up and notice it.
What do you mean?
People are acting like the violence is news. But it's always been savage down here. It just bubbles to the surface every now and again.
You seem to have recovered well since your attack. Do you ever think about what happened to you?
Not much. It was a fucking nightmare. Savages, absolute bloody savages. Their appearance. Jesus. It made me want to puke.
You'd better not come back here. I won't be around next time to save you.
Ah, carai. Tô
I'm
procurando a
looking for
enfermeira. Cadê
Dorothy
essa
Crane.
mulher?
She's a nurse. What can you tell me about her?
Dorothy Crane. Bless her soul. I really should thank her someday.
Ah,
Tell me truthfully, why are you so thankful?
By keeping my tenants alive, she's
Tá
making
me
me a
deixando
rich
rico.
man. Every month they live, it's more coin in my pocket.
Oh.
Has she treated you?
No. When I need a checkup, I'd go to a bloody doctor, not some back alley clinic full of sick foreigners.
Para, Vlad. Tá me mordendo essa criança?
Since I took an oath to help people, can I be of assistance?
Well, seen better days, that's for sure. But it was bound to happen with all these refugees about.
Ah, toma o remédio.
Infecting you is probably the last thing on these
Toma o
people's
remédio,
minds.
desgraça.
Take this in any case.
What? You give me this for free? Don't have a clue about this place, do you?
Goodbye, Mr. Bates.
Tô sendo generosa. Generosa. Estado grave. Tem que achar mais gente. Que deve estar doente. Esse cara aqui também não consegui remédio pra enxaqueca ainda. Esse já tá medicado. Esse já tá medicado. Vamos lá. E daqui do outro lado. Tá. Aqui dentro mesmo.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing
Bronquite.
what he's up to.
Vlad, assim não dá, Vlad. Vai lá. Ali a mulher.
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be from Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that
stray poet who is always about?
Richard Nethercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
I must talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius. Nearby the church they just mentioned.
Vlad, assim não dá. Assim não dá, tem que te comportar.
It's not my call, Baron. You pay one way or another.
Please, Joe. How long are we...
Excuse me, sir. I have a few questions for you.
Another journalist? I didn't answer the first one, so piss off.
I'm not a journalist, I'm a doctor.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Really? But still, here I am. Dr. Jonathan Reed, at your service.
I'm Joe Peterson to some, but Colossus Joe to most. And I don't remember asking for your service, sir.
May I ask what you do around here?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even more. Now sod off.
Ô, cara.
According to you, physicians are scarce in this part of town. Why is that?
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you? I guess your fancy colleagues are too afraid of being stabbed in the back.
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always look my opponent in the eye before knocking him out.
Puta merda,
Have you
tudo
heard of a nurse
precisa.
named Dorothy Crane? She's a colleague of mine and is supposed to live around here.
Dorothy Crane? Yeah, I know her. One of the few good souls who dare to help the sick around here.
Could you please tell me more about her?
She's a nice girl. Tries to help the migrants. I offered to give her a hand, but she said my reputation would attract too much attention.
Ah, meu, mas... Cara.
Can I offer you my medical expertise, Mr. Peterson?
The name is Colossus Joe. I don't get sick.
Tá bom.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Welcome, sir. Please, take a browse of my wares.
I am Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly
Esse aqui eu acho que é o primeiro que olha pra ele. Olha só.
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
Well, you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap? As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no sign of the bottom yet.
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like hell. Those men were raving lunatics, I tell you. Not even able to speak anymore, just screaming.
Caralho.
Violence is increasing in the borough.
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned workshops. Fever, madness, something like that.
Where did this happen? Why did you go there?
In the closed workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice in better days. Now I only go to find trinkets or tools. Too bad I was mugged, though. There was good money in that little box of loot I lost.
Nova investigação.
How is business around here?
Business? I have no business. Between this racket, theft, and customers getting scared, I'm losing money every day.
I see. Sounds like you blame someone in particular for your situation.
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with me, he's trying to put me out of business once and for all.
Ó. Vou voltar a falar com aquele cara lá.
Have you heard of a nurse called Dorothy Crane?
Nurse Crane? So the bitch really is a nurse then? Always thought she was just some crafty foreigner, that one.
So she's trying to help her fellow immigrants. Why would that make her a villain?
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Craniu. Something like that. Came to England fleeing the war, I was told.
That doesn't explain why
Então
she
ela é
irritates you so
imigrante,
much.
Your
é isso?
precious Nurse Crane gives away medical supplies and prescriptions for free. I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted to play the quiet saint.
Right then. Show me what you have.
Caralho, você tem muita coisa, tio, e eu não tenho quase nada pra te vender, eu acho. Mano, cadê o Clayton? Mano, o cara tinha falado com esse cara aqui. Eu vou falar de novo com ele porque...
You again? What do you want this time?
How did you become the local bully everyone is afraid of, Joe?
There's no pride in roughing up poor bastards. But this is the only job I've found. And it pays well too.
A job? So you're racketeering for someone else?
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks. I'm their muscle for their dirty work.
Most people don't become thugs when unemployed. This is a choice you made.
I don't care what you think, sir. I do what I have to do for my own reasons, and that's that.
I'm not sure Mr.
cara lá em
Lewis
cima.
would agree with your
E outro lá.
by all means necessary
What?
philosophy, sir.
What the fuck tá acontecendo com aqueles caras lá em cima?
Barrett can be as sneaky as anyone. Long ago, I even called the bastard my best friend.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Tenho mais uma pista desse cara.
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never lose your focus, do you? Joe Peterson. He's the villain here, isn't he? But you seem to know each other.
I'd known Joe for years. I saw him box once or twice. He was a friend then. But these days, he's just another thug.
What can you tell me about Mr. Peterson? Besides his behavior toward you, obviously.
Colossus Joe was a decent boxer, good one even. But after his wife passed away, he found every excuse to stop training. Just wanted to pick fights with everyone.
Taking out your anger on others is nothing but cowardice. And Colossi are quite famous for tumbling down.
We've all had some rough times, ain't we? But most of us don't use our fists to see us through.
And no one has ever stood up to this thug.
Nobody would be fool enough to stand against the Wet Boot Boy.
Isso aí.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Lewis.
Encontre Clayton na região. Tá. Primeiro. Who the fuck is you?
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of town?
Clayton.
Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets at night?
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
I'm convinced there is more at work here than a simple epidemic.
Really?
Não é só uma epidemia, cara.
To be honest, I could say the same. Some of the sick I saw or heard of My God, what happened to them?
Why are the newspapers keeping silent
É
about the
tipo
Spanish influenza?
bagulho tenso.
It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
I served in France. Our top priority must be to put an end to this butchery. This war must stop now.
Sir, streets are a battlefield too. An invisible and untold war is going on, and it must be stopped.
What is a journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his
O
colleagues
padre
would
bem louco
dare
ali,
to
ó.
go, to inform the country.
O padre tá mais louco que o Batman.
That's quite honorable of you. But is the public interested?
Not at all, sir. And that's why I'm an independent journalist, hoping to sell some stories.
So you risk your life to reveal the truth. I saw many reporters do the same during the war.
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in
Quer ver que eu vou ter que ir nesse ambulatório clandestino?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
I'm a doctor, Mr. Darby. I care about everything involving public health and this epidemic.
Are you sure you're not just concerned about the repercussions that a scandal involving a certain Nurse Crane from the Pembroke Hospital would bring?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious, never goes out, doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
He has no relatives at all?
No, except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nethercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nethercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
He never goes out?
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
Tá bom.
Do you need assistance?
That would be nice of you, Doctor. Who knows what I may have caught during my investigation.
Puta, fadiga. Não tem mais remédio pra fadiga, tá? Depois eu faço.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell.
Quem é tu, velho?
Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son.
Cara, por que ele ficou todo... Quando veio, viu aquele crucifixo grandão e desse velho não acontece nada.
Jonathan Reed, and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than
Não faz sentido, né?
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences. And most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
I am. But the answers I seek are based on facts, not superstition. What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences. And most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning
Puta, a gripe espanhola.
What do you mean?
Praticamente
The
uma gripe
beast is
vampiresca.
finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
Fire is just the instinctive answer of a caveman facing something he does not
Espanhóis são vampiros.
This is the 20th century.
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light. This is God's will.
You're mad and dangerous. You're nothing but a soulless butcher, a small-time Torquemada, the Savonarola of Whitechapel.
My son, if you think salvation is a free gift, go listen to the lies of that pompous fool, Joseph.
Joseph, a fool?
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church. While he continues preaching his fraudulent redemption, more and more people die in the streets.
Have you any friends? Any family left in these terrible times?
No. But I have a disciple I see as my son. He is so devoted. I send him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
You sent him on some preaching crusade during the epidemic.
As a true believer, Samuel will fear no evil while he walks through the valley of the shadow of death.
Tá, então aquele
Where did you
cara
send him?
I
que tá
sent
atrás.
Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery, where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
Tá, calma o coração.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that Nurse Crane you mentioned.
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in our country. That's what happens when you let a woman get involved in politics.
So you're not exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale's work. But nurses are essential for modern healthcare.
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male patients. It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fiber.
Tá.
I have heard enough for
Ah,
tonight.
esqueci que eu tinha que ver se o padre
Goodbye.
precisava de... O padre tá saudável. Posso olhar por aqui, ver se tem alguma coisa. O cara tá com fadiga. Atrás tem uma entrada. Caraca. pode estar esse desgraçado. Richard na região. Are you gonna find you? Que foi, bebeze? Mano, meu gato saiu da minha live aqui e colocou na live de outra pessoa, bem aleatória. Comunista. Vlad, fica aqui em cima que aqui tu escorrega, Vlad. Tá, esse é o cara que fica atrás da igreja.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town, my words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
Really? Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
Para.
May I ask you a few questions about the district?
Extraordinary part of town, is it not? I'll be glad to help you, if I can.
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu? Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing skills.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane, a nurse who lives in this vicinity.
Dorothy Crane. Oh, I love the name.
Vai lá comer. Vai.
Whitechapel. Sounds very mysterious. But sorry, no, never heard of her.
Não ouço ouvir falar dessa mina.
Do you need medical attention, sir?
It may be wise to let you prescribe me something. I don't feel like I should.
Resfriado.
I will see you later.
Resfriado, fadiga. E tem mais uma coisa que eu tenho que fazer. Porra, todos eles são doentes, é isso?
May I ask what you're doing at this hour of night, sir? Do you live here?
Not at all. I'm just enjoying the pleasure of a quiet walk. Though night talks are always preferable, if you ask me. Especially with strangers.
If you say so. But as a physician in a time of epidemic, I must caution you to avoid unnecessary exposure, sir.
Thank you, Doctor. But we both know the seeker of truth has to go boldly where the weak dare not.
But are you not afraid of the epidemic?
Oh, why should
Tudo
I?
na fadiga. Tem fadiga, resfriado e enxaqueca. Anota aí no chat pra mim.
Good or evil, rich or poor, all are equal in the eyes of the flu.
Fadiga, resfriado e enxaqueca.
What are your thoughts on the terrible situation in this city?
Terrible, you say? No. Of course, the death of so many innocents is a
enxaqueca eu ainda não sei fazer, mas eu sei que eu preciso de dois. Pra mina do hospital.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember London before the flu? Noisy, cacophonic, quiet nowhere to be found. And now, listen to this oddly peaceful silence.
Yes. The enjoyable silence of the grave. You have a unique perspective on the situation, I must admit.
Most people fail to understand my perspective. I don't blame them. But how could I call myself a poet if I veiled my feelings?
Are you aware that your life could be in danger in this part of town?
But this is where I must be to feel the real beat of the city. I had to come, see it for myself, alone.
I understand your need for solitude, but it's not safe around here.
I don't care. I don't have many friends, Doctor, and my family despises me.
If some misfortune came upon you, who would be here to help you?
Well, you for a start, my dear Doctor.
I don't think so.
I'll leave you alone, sir.
Encontre os moradores de Whitechapel. Encontre a caixa de correio e a carta. Tá. Bora lá. Isso daqui. Opa, peraí, tem que descer. Ô, mina, quem é tu?
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. I'd like to ask you a few questions. I know what you're thinking.
Ela só fez...
A tall stranger who meets a girl in the street at night. It reeks of the penny dreadfuls. But I mean you no harm, truly.
Ela é muda?
I know you understand what I'm saying. Your silence has nothing to do with you being mute, does it? Amelia, I know you work for Dorothy Crane. Please tell me about her secret dispensary. A stubborn and mute comrade. Nurse Crane and Darius Petrescu have been clever. You don't seem to need my medical attention for now.
What? Cara, foi muito
Very well.
inútil.
Goodbye then.
What the fuck? Olha só, ela vai de um buquê pro outro.
The content of Darius' letter to his children could give me more leverage to enter. Darius is a bit less of a mystery now. It should not be that difficult to incite him to let me in.
Who are you?
You are blinded by your false faith, imprisoned by your daily routine, unable to see the true horror.
Oi, Red Pill. Olha o vampirão aí. Boa noite. Como é que tá, Red?
Don't be shy, handsome. What can Christina do for you?
Tá se preparando para tua livezinha de Apex?
But I'd like to ask you a few questions, if I may. I'm a doctor.
Estamos aqui tentando resolver o mistério do
All right
vampirão.
then, but be quick, though I usually get paid when I open my mouth.
Do you need any assistance, Miss Popper?
It depends on the price of your medicine.
Fadiga. Fadiga 2. Quer dizer, fadiga 3. Todos eles têm fadiga. Não, tá cedo ainda. Fadiga 3. Resfriado e enxaqueca 2.
I will see you later. Clayton Darby claims he will expose the crisis in Whitechapel.
Eu tô fazendo, eu tentei fazer de Dauntless hoje cedo, mas não deu, não rolou. Acho que a Epic Games estava meio bugada. Tanto que até ela fechou o vampirão no começo da live.
Are you talking from experience?
I've seen your type come here to get a good fuck in a cheap room or a
Eita.
dark alley before going back to their fancy houses in the West End.
Why this skepticism?
How can you speak about starvation if you've never been hungry? Or about poverty? Or anything else you have never suffered from?
Carai.
Clayton Darby claims he will expose the crisis in Whitechapel to all of London. Do you believe him?
I believe Clayton's courage will erode with time, until he finally leaves Whitechapel to start another fight somewhere else.
Christina, have you been examined? The epidemic is spreading fast
E a
in
gatinha
London,
Red?
and you could be exposed. Or
Sei contigo, o
expose
Vlad tá
others.
aqui
I
deitado
don't
no
like
colo,
doctors
mas às
or
vezes tá me
hospitals,
incomodando.
but I don't like you asking questions.
Considering your line of work, I assure you it is only a matter of time before you have health issues.
If it is going to happen, it will happen.
Não, Vlad.
Right now, I need money. That's what's important.
Não sei, deve estar dormindo no quarto.
You can put your own life
Não
in
veio te
danger,
ver
that's your
hoje?
decision. But what about your clients? If you're contaminated, you will put them in danger too.
And you think that would worry me? If you knew the men I deal with, their health would not be what you'd worry about.
Eita. Ai.
Tell me about yourself.
Are you joking with me? People don't usually come to see me for conversation.
I have no interest in your work. I am, however, curious as to what led you into this career.
Short story.
Vlad tá aqui
The
mordendo
war,
meu dedo. Toda vez que eu
exile,
mexo
and England.
o analógico,
This
ele morde
country
meu
is
dedo.
not especially welcoming. I've been refused many jobs because of where I am from. I had few options left.
Opa.
I always thought I was the master of my own fate. But now I know we don't always have control over our lives. I don't judge you.
You know, this money is not only for me. I have good reasons to need this money quickly. But it is not your concern, Doctor.
Tá. Não temos mais pistas.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Anything you can tell me about her would be helpful.
I don't know her, but I know her name is Dorothea
Dorothea
Crasciunescu. She came from Romania like me and many others.
You seem to respect her.
Dorothea helps the sick people of Whitechapel. Everyone should respect that.
Dorothea
Goodbye, miss.
Crasciunescu.
Take care of yourself as best you can.
Encontre uma forma de entrar na casa, tá? Vamos lá na casa. Ah, bebê, o que que foi? Tá na casa. Mano, o que que tá acontecendo com esse padre, ó? Tá com fome? Vai lá comer então, vai. Vai lá comer. Vlad, a comida tá lá, não precisa ficar berrando.
Maybe it's time to see if this Christina is still working nearby.
Mr. Petrescu.
Ele está orquestrando um coral invisível.
You again. Go away.
Sir, wait. Stop this nonsense. I know Nurse Crane is here. Shall we speak man to man, you and I?
All right.
Cara, por que o cara não me deixa entrar?
Don't you see
Meu, me
we're on the
deixa
same
entrar.
side? We fight to help the poor, sick, and abandoned.
I'm nothing like you, Mr. Doctor.
Yes, you are. You too believe in providing medical care without charge. You know what we have to sacrifice to make the world a better place.
I have to admit your words have conviction. All right, I'll let you see, Dorothea. Don't make me regret this, though.
Tá bom, velho, obrigado.
This district seems
Eu entro na casa das pessoas, vou pegando tudo mesmo. Tô nem aí.
It's locked, all right.
Trancado. Tá contigo, né, velho? Fala a verdade. Tá contigo.
This district seems to get uglier every year.
If you want to talk to Dorothea, you must go across the courtyard and take the stairs.
We've not been formally introduced. May I ask your name and occupation, sir?
I am Darius Petrescu. I'm here to keep snitches and spies away from Dorothea. And I also run this little print shop.
Para, Nenese.
So Dorothy's real name is not Crane.
Like myself and many people in this area, Dorothea
Da
is from
Romania.
occupied Romania. That's all you need to know.
She seems important to the community.
More than you can imagine. The West End does not want to hear of Whitechapel's misery. Dorothea is one of the few doing something about it.
Tell me everything you know about Camellia, the mute florist.
I do not believe in the afterlife, Doctor, but I'm almost convinced Camellia is an angel. She volunteered to give out our medical
Suspeita.
leaflets.
Camélia. É que ela é mesmo.
Who is she, really?
Buda?
Do you know where she's from?
She's not from around here, that's all we know. Camellia is not even her name. It's her favorite flower.
You say she has no close family.
Well, there's that awful poet who constantly follows
Vai
her
dar ruim.
around like a lost puppy. A good man for sure, but a very poor writer.
Are you not worried for her safety?
She is as brave as she is tough, and clever too. If only I had met her when I was younger.
Are you in love with Camellia, Mr. Petrescu?
Don't be stupid. If I had met her when I was younger, we could have won our revolution.
Tá. Tá.
Do you have any family left, Mr. Petrescu?
Eu bloqueei tudo, desbloqueei tudo
Children
dele
or
praticamente.
grandchildren?
Who knows? I have abandoned my people for so long, they might as well be dead. As dead as I am for them, I suppose.
Tá.
This war won't last forever. Did you ever think of returning to your country now it's free?
No. I have taught strength and determination to my sons and daughters. I'm an old, dying man who only has memories of better times to cherish.
Don't be embarrassed, sir. If you must know, my own father disappeared many years ago, and
Mano,
I forgave
sabe?
him.
It's quite awkward to talk about our families
O
like
pai dele
this, but
desapareceu. E se foi o pai dele que
thank you,
transformou
Dr.
ele?
Reed.
O pai
I
dele é
appreciate
tipo um
your
vampiro.
trust.
Pode ser uma concepção. Voltamos? Voltamos. Eita. Voltamos. Ué? Não sei o que aconteceu. I don't know. Sabe como é que é, né? Vai entender.
Then perhaps you have more in common with Dorothea than meets the eye, Dr. Reed.
I know you fought for your country when it was occupied, Darius. Tell me more about it.
I know my days are numbered, and I know I won't see my homeland again. But I fought for Romania all my life, and I will until my last breath.
But Romania escaped the grasp of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. It's a free country again.
But it's not the country I fought for. My homeland is not appeased, Doctor. And I still see a dark future ahead for my people.
Vai entender. Well. Ah, peraí.
Do you need some help, Mr. Petrescu?
I am very tired, but that is all. I don't need you,
Achei que tu tava com fadiga, velho. Ah, não, ele precisa.
Well, I think you do.
Tem remédio.
Take this, and you'll feel better.
Free drugs.
Bronquite ele tinha.
Doctor.
Que bom que eu fiz.
It must be my lucky day.
Goodbye, Mr. Petrescu.
Menos mal. Deixa eu ver aqui. Aqui. Opa, falta 3 pessoas. Deixa eu ver. Esse aqui então é fadiga. 2 fadiga. Resfriado. Aqui. E o outro? Opa. E o outro distrito? Como é que tá? Estável. Porra, vou ter que voltar lá pra depois curar esse daqui, é isso mesmo? Todos eles com fadiga, quase. E esse aqui também tem fadiga, ó. Ah, pelo que eu vejo, são 4 distritos que eu tenho que cuidar. Putz, eu ainda vou ter que cuidar desses aqui, eu acho. Eita porra.
Alô?
Alô, oi Kanami.
E aí?
Como é que
Bem?
tá? Tô bem, deixa eu só baixar um pouquinho aqui, tua voz tá muito alta. Estamos aqui jogando o Vampirão, tá assistindo?
Não, eu tô em live também.
Ah, é, eu vi. Eu vi que tu tava em live. O Scott me avisou.
Tô aqui pelo Discord.
A galerinha.
Tô tentando adquirir, ganhar uns dinheiros aí, né, pra comprar uns carros pelo leilão. Só que é meio complicado. É, tem uns carros que, tipo, que nem ontem que eu te falei, começa com 25 mil, no final do leilão termina com quase 4, 3 milhões.
Porra.
Tem que farmar de fato muito dinheiro.
Farmar muito, na real. Eu tô aqui farmando pra fazer o remédio pra população, né? Mano, quer ver que eu vou subir lá e vai ter um monte de bicho?
Quem é que tá aí mais online, hein?
O Scott.
Eu.
Opa, e aí, Scott, beleza?
O ataco tá surdo mudo, mas ele tá aqui também.
Tá.
Tá surdo, mano.
He's going into convulsions, Doctor.
É, eu tô aqui, tipo, quebrando cabeça no Forza Horizon.
Dr. Reed, do something.
What do we have here, nurse?
Patient Razvan
Ih, olha, ele não tá
Fever
com
running on
convulsão,
3
ele tá
days.
virando
Complaints of
um
dizziness,
monstro.
muscle aches and head pain, diagnosed with influenza.
Treatment?
Aspirin and salicin for the fever and discomfort. Liquids for
Tá
dehydration,
ferrado.
but he's having trouble keeping even water down.
Aspirin and salicin, you say?
Aspirina?
Why not some warm milk and a kiss on the cheek?
Peraí, que a tua voz também tá muito alta. Tá mais alta do que o jogo. Eu fiquei, what?
The quinine salts.
Tried buying, borrowing, even stealing. There's none to be found, Doctor.
Meu Deus, o que
He's
ele
not
vai
convulsing,
fazer,
he's
cara?
choking. He's not getting any air. Scalpel. Hand me that scalpel.
What can I do, Doctor?
I need to perform a tracheostomy. Short pipe. That rubber tube will do. We're going to cut a passage for air through the neck.
Transmissão aqui, aí tinha 2 pessoas. Aí quando eu vi, ué, que delay é esse? Aí eu fui ver, telespectador, era eu e um bot.
Yes, Doctor.
What?
E eu todo
He's breathing
felizão,
again, but he's
vai
coughing up
entrar,
blood.
não sei o que, quando fui ver, eu tava
Internal
ficando
hemorrhaging. I need to make another incision into the chest
Ah,
cavity
mas
to
é que
drain the
tem
fluids
uma
from the
questão
lung.
do horário
Prepare
também.
another tube.
A thoracostomy.
Vai
Doctor, we've
fazer,
nothing
tipo,
to
depois eu vou
fight
te
the
dar um
infection.
site
We need an
específico pra te
aseptic
ver o horário
environment.
que é melhores horários pra fazer jogo, pra fazer coisas.
Right then, Nurse Crane. What do you suggest we do?
I've no idea. I'm not the doctor.
Time is of the essence. We need to perform a thoracic
Eu e eu.
drain.
Ah, mas às
Yes,
vezes eu já
doctor.
fiz live pra eu e eu.
Ah, mas é uma bosta isso, né? Faz parte.
Mas aos poucos vai
He's still
crescendo.
bleeding, Doctor. I'm losing his pulse.
The drain must have punctured the intercostal artery. There's too much blood.
Tipo, só just shedding.
Are you
Ai, ai,
alright,
não, não,
Doctor?
não. Olha ali. É muito sangue e ele tá ficando loucão.
I must first suture the artery. Find the wound.
Meu Deus do céu, vai dar ruim.
The
Vai dar ruim,
source of the
Kanami.
blood.
Needle and thread, Doctor.
Apenas corra muito.
Good. The stitches
Não,
are
mas é que
holding.
tu sabe o que é
How's
esse
he
jogo?
doing?
We're losing him.
Ele é,
We've
é?
lost his pulse. He's
Ah,
dying,
mas ele tá
Doctor.
tentando salvar o cara, só que é sangue e... Ai, meu Deus.
Cardiac massage. Now.
Cardiac. What? Are you making this up as you go along?
Vai, vai. Ih, morreu.
Ai, mulher.
Ah, eu tô com o bot desligado, senão eu botava morri.
O mais triste.
We've lost the pulse. He's gone, Doctor.
Nurse, we did everything we could.
Truly? Everything you could. Is that how you'll report this in your log? Is this how the war went? Piling up one poor corpse beside the next?
This was not an influenza-induced seizure. I've never seen symptoms like these on the continent.
Neither have
Epidemia,
I.
cara.
But the previous symptoms leading up to this attack were the same, indistinguishable from the epidemic.
No, there was something more vile in these reactions.
Vai
Something
fazer live de game hoje, Kanami?
primitive.
There have been numerous
Oi?
reports
Vai
of
fazer alguma
mental
live de
breakdowns
game
caused
hoje?
by the fever that accompanies the flu
No
itself,
momento, só
Doctor.
no Forza Horizon.
Yes, but
Mas acho que depois eu vou jogar mais alguma coisa, eu acho.
I'd
Dark
best
Souls,
take some
alguma coisa.
samples of the blood for analysis.
Aqui tudo indica.
É.
Ah, sextou, né, mano? Acho que...
Eu acho que eu vou fazer mais uma live de caminhãozinho hoje.
Ah, pode crer.
Combinado.
Hum?
Nunca vi live de
I
campo
doubt
minado.
you're here to test my bedside manners.
Amostra de sangue.
Ah, e não posso esquecer, né? Feliz Dia dos Namorados aí, pra quem tá namorando.
Claro.
Pra quem já casou, né? Não tem mais Dia dos Namorados, é só mais um dia.
I suspect it was more than intuition alone that led you
Hoje
to
é o dia
us.
dos sogros ficarem com as
So,
crianças pros papais.
how might I be of service, Dr. Reed?
Ih, ferrou. E agora, gente, eu tenho que escolher. Você não pode continuar fazendo isso, vir dar um fim às chantagens e ser legal. Ela é uma imigrante legal, só que ela tá pegando as coisas do hospital e tá dando de graça pras pessoas. Ela é uma imigrante no país, tá? Da Romênia, que já é ilegal. E ela tá trabalhando no hospital com uma identidade falsa. Tava trabalhando no hospital que eu fui contratado. E ela pega os medicamentos e vem e trata nesse ambulatório ilegal e dá os medicamentos de graça pra população.
Vixe.
Daí eu vou ter que escolher entre 3 perguntas. 3 coisas. Você não pode continuar fazendo isso. Vim dar um fim às chantagens e isso é ilegal.
Bah.
Errou.
E agora?
Mano, mas eu só não entendi quem chantagem que ela tá fazendo, porque não foi mostrado que ela tava fazendo chantagem em alguém. Falar que ela...
Capítulo, né?
Hã?
O nome do capítulo é Chantagem de Whitechapel.
Sim, mas que chantagem que é? Eu vou botar, você não pode continuar.
Your heart might be in the right place, but you can't carry on with this blackmail. For God's sake, Dorothy, it's extortion. It's a serious crime.
Doctor, you think your warnings scare me? I've stolen and plied, blackmailed and lied, but what else am I to do? I'm all these people have.
Podia ter pedido ajuda pro hospital, cara.
But why Lady Ashbury? Why her of all people?
She's pristine and proper, all right. But that she-wolf in sheep's clothing murders the poor for sport. I have her where she
Quem
belongs,
mais os amigos estão
and I'll
fazendo
milk her
live
for all
aí?
she's got.
Ah, eu não vi.
Dr. Swansea is a sensible and honest man. He wouldn't have refused your friend's care at Pembroke.
It's easy for you to say, Doctor.
Bonei
These people
tomate,
cannot go to
o
the
Wagner tá
police, nor
fazendo
to the
Darkest
hospital. They
Dungeon.
don't even speak English. They depend on me for everything.
Que jogo é esse? Não foi.
Tá fazendo Forza. Depois eu vou te dar uma raid, então.
So,
Eu
the
tenho
end
só
justifies
mais
the
meia horinha
means.
de
Is that
live.
your defense?
I know you're
Vampyr-Eng.
kind,
Hã?
Doctor. Just another fine-heeled, silver-spooned gentleman who was given the world on a platter. You know nothing of poverty, nothing of the shame, the hunger, the loneliness.
Uhum. Pra não ficar maçante. E também fazer 3, 4 horas de live. Tá, o caminhãozinho até tudo bem, porque não tem história. Mas quando o jogo tem muita história, tu começa a receber muita informação e tu buga uma hora.
Sim.
Ainda mais jogos que nem esse aqui, que passa no século, tipo, 19, 18, 19, que o nome das pessoas são diferentes, são com nomenclaturas diferentes, daí tu fica... Hã? Entendeu? Tu fica meio bugado.
You've convinced me of the sincerity of your actions and their noble justifications.
É,
But all the
fica
same,
muito grande, máximo
blackmail is
2
a
horas,
crime,
3 horas
and
no
it will stop,
máximo.
Nurse Crane.
So, are you going to turn me over to the authorities?
É. E agora, galera? Então, eu tenho que escolher poupar ela. E aí ele fala, eu ignoro isso, mas você se demite. Encantar, eu posso fazer ela esquecer de tudo isso. Ou abraçar. O abraçar seria matar ela, né? O, tipo, drenar o sangue dela.
Tu falou poupar, né?
Poupar é a primeira. Ele ignora tudo e manda ela se demitir. Mas isso não quer dizer que ela não vai continuar fazendo. Encantar, eu faço ela esquecer de tudo. Tudo mesmo. Ou eu mato ela.
Mas o que ela tá fazendo ali?
Então, eu acabei de explicar, cara. Ela é uma imigrante legal no país, que nessa época não era permitido. Ela usou um nome falso, virou enfermeira no hospital, tá trabalhando lá no hospital onde eu tava trabalhando, roubou o dinheiro, extorquiu os médicos de lá do hospital para pegar os medicamentos e o dinheiro para criar um ambulatório ilegal numa outra cidade onde ela está tratando imigrantes ilegais. Somente imigrantes ilegais.
Nessa questão, eu acho melhor pegar, como é que é, apaga a memória dela.
O que o
Pois
Trump
é, né?
faria?
Oi?
O que o Trump faria?
Putz. Não, o Trump é outra história, né? É que se eu apagar a memória dela, o resto do pessoal dos imigrantes ilegais vão relembrar ela, e aí?
Então é melhor não. Meu. Pai, eu não queria, tipo, dar esse bagulho aí de pegar e matar, mas eu acho que nesse caso.
Vamos tentar ver se vamos tentar encantar, vamos ver o que vai dar.
Listen very carefully, Dorothy. You will erase from your memory everything you pretend to know about Lady Ashbury and Pembroke Hospital.
Let that rich bitch off the hook over my dead
Nurse
body.
Crane, enough. Listen as if your life depended on every word. I know you've a generous heart who gives freely to those in need, but you shall walk away from the shadier streets of your business.
I will never abandon...
Dorothy, the discussion has come to a close. Your clandestine activities in the Resistance are over. Let it go.
I'll let it go. Yes. All
Eita porra.
gone.
Let it go.
Nível de enfeitiçar. 9 cidadãos disponíveis para matar. É sério mesmo?
Cara.
O distrito sofrerá as consequências das ações. What?
What the fuck?
Quer dizer que eu tenho que matar as pessoas?
Acho que não. Acho que tu pode matar sem ter grandes precauções. Efeito colateral, sei lá.
Gente, olha o que tá acontecendo aqui com o... What? O que tá acontecendo com o avental dela? What? Gente, alguém clipa isso. Olha que bizarro.
Tipo.
What? Que isso, velho? Olha ali. Meu Deus do céu. Vou até me embora.
Tá amarrado, hein?
Que isso, caralho? Sai, seus imundos. Esses caras são uns desgraçados, velho. Eles acharam o lugar. Esses caras aqui da resistência que me dá um ranço, cara. Encontre uma forma... Eu tenho que achar o esconderijo. Eu não me lembro mais onde é que... Tem que marcar ele no mapa. Puta, tá longe.
Vamos ver aqui.
This district seems to get uglier every year.
A storm approaches.
Maybe it's time to see if this Christina is still working nearby.
Gente, eu já não sei mais onde é que é o meu esconderijo. Gente, olha o cara com corona aqui, ó. Aqui? Não é? Errou. Não! Aqui é a missão. Eu quero meu esconderijo. Pois. Mas, cara, 14 metros.
I have this thirst for blood.
E é aqui mesmo, cara. Não, 2 metros. É nessa casa aqui mesmo, é isso? Deixa eu ver. É. Really? É aqui mesmo. Eu achei que não. Então tá, né? Ah, não, me imagina jogar esse seu joguinho aí com a...
Oi?
Imagina jogar esse teu joguinho aí com a... Com a direção.
Ah, aí sim, aí eu viro quem bloco, meu. Aí é só aderir. Aí sim. Ah, eu não vejo a hora de poder, tipo, voltar a trabalhar e tudo aí pra poder trazer umas melhorias, tá ligado? Não só pra mim, mas também pra trazer algo melhor aqui pra Twitch.
Sim.
Fazer algo mais direito, como tem que ser. No momento, jogar com o controle mesmo. Ah, mas não pensa que aqui eu tô jogando também, tipo, como é que é tudo bonitinho, não é? Tipo GTA também. Tipo, que
Sim.
eu tava jogando.
Ah, é novo esconderijo. Por isso. Tá, vamos fazer os remédios da galera. Não, para. Coisa, tia. Vou pegar o resto das coisas. Vamos fazer os remédios. É 2 fadigas, né? São 3 fadigas, né? Olha aqui. Fadiga, resfriado e enxaqueca. Fazer esses aqui que estão faltando, porque uma hora eu vou ter que precisar dar pra alguém. Fadiga eu sei que são 3. Mano, eu vou fazer o que eu puder fazer. O problema é que esse tratamento aqui da fórmula desconhecida eu não sei como fazer.
O quê?
Tem um tratamento aqui que tem fórmula desconhecida.
Vi?
É, tipo...
Não pode ver no Google isso?
Não, porque não tem um negócio específico, sabe, pra...
É tipo feito na sorte. Aí que
É bem isso mesmo. Melhoria da arma.
Eu tava vendo uns vídeos do pessoal jogando coisa com Dark Souls, aí tem uns caras, mas o bom é tu formar uma build pra assim, assim, assado. Aí tu olha outro vídeo, cara, eu gosto de fazer build assim, assim, assado. Faz assim, eu faço assim, faz assim, faz assim. Aí tu fica meio perdido de que forma tu pode fazer, tipo...
Melhorar, né?
É. Aí vai muito de ti, assim, né? Do que tu quer fazer, de tipo de arma tu quer usar, se tu quer usar arco, se tu quer usar espada, ou então tu quer usar só item consumível e etc. Aí tu fica meio, tá, beleza, as opções são várias, mas é que Dark Souls é aquela coisa, tipo, tu vai matar aquele animal tal ali, tudo, aí tu vai lá pra bonfire, vai acender a fogueira, aí quando tu voltar, vai estar todos eles lá de volta de novo, aí tu passa mais estresse, né? Todo aquele choro, grito, pavor.
Sim.
E tem gente que diz, não, Dark Souls é muito bom, é bom.
Mano, eu vou fazer o máximo de remédio que der pra fazer aqui. E eu vou entregando pra população e era isso.
Eles que lutam.
Mano, isso é uma coisa que eu não gostei no jogo. O jeito que a gente usa aqui, ó. Tem que poder selecionar cada um deles. O controle é bem ruim.
É foda.
Porra, tô passando trabalho aqui, peraí.
Sai daí.
Máximo de todos. Agora vamos dar um upgrade aqui. Dar ele pra dormir. Melhorar aqui, tenho 1000. Vou fazer uma suprema. Abismo. Vamos ver o que tem de supremo. Você perde o controle e deixa a besta tomar conta por um breve período. A besta se teletransporta para todos os inimigos à sua volta e golpeia furiosamente.
Louco?
Vamos ver a segunda. Abismo. Cria um vórtice das sombras sobre os pés dos inimigos. As sombras criam vida e interrompem as ações de um inimigo na área, causando imenso dano a ele. Caldeirão de sangue. Concentre seus poderes para ferver o sangue de um alvo e fazê-lo explodir com violência, causando dano também a quem estiver perto dele. Eita porra!
Aí sim, hein?
Mas esse aqui da besta, ele pega todos os inimigos, né, meu?
Essa explosão me lembrou um outro jogo. Legacy of Kain.
Eu tenho 995. Vou upar esses aqui que são menores. E vou melhorar o sangue. Aumenta a capacidade de sangue. Ciência, 3 soros. Aumentar o número de balas que eu posso carregar. Regeneração, não, eu preciso disso aqui. Tá, agora desaparecimento em Whitechapel. Ah, eu preciso curar essa galera aqui, porque eles estão tudo meio doente, o distrito está grávida. E depois eu vou lá fazer a missão, porque senão vai dar ruim. Tenho que sair por esse lado aqui. Caralho, velho. Eu acho que isso aqui já era a missão, mas tudo bem. Esse jogo parece ser cabuloso e assustador, mas ele não é. Tipo, até achei que os supostos vampiros infectados ali seria mais horroroso, sabe? Eles seriam mais horrorosos. Tá de dia? Se tá de dia, fudeu. Ah, não. Comerciante.
It's locked.
E, mano, é muito estranho jogar um jogo sem tu. Como é que é? Tu ouvir a música do.
Esse jogo não tem música.
É tipo, esse aqui.
Opa, tem um cara no chão morto aqui.
Eu tava ouvindo essa live no canal Esqueci de Esconder e tava dando aquela.
Aqui é aquela coisa, tipo, agora com essa nova diretriz aí da Twitch, eu quero poder ouvir uma pequena canção aí, que não já ferra.
Uhum. Tem um cara aqui em cima.
Eu não sei quem é que tá controlando.
Ali dentro. Como é que eu vou entrar? Que bom que eu salvei, porque se o jogo bugasse eu já ia chorar.
Ah, bênção quando isso acontece. E eu sou daquele que tem muito aquele pensamento estilo Resident Evil, tá ligado? Quando aparece, como é que é? Quando aparece muito item, o jogo salva automático.
Change your mind, Mr. Reed?
Sim.
Do you need any assistance, Miss Popper?
It depends on the price of your medicine.
Toma o remédio.
I am shocked that you would think I am that sort of man.
Forgive my suspicion. I'm so used to liars.
Toma o remédio e já me dá uma pista.
Thank you, sir.
Goodbye, miss. Take care of yourself as best you can.
Cadê o investigador? Aqui. Mais um fadiguento. Vão dormir, seus desgraçados. Vocês estão com fadiga aí.
Good evening, Doctor. Can I help you?
Não é só dormir.
Sim, eu sei, mas se alimentar melhor, tomar mais vitamina.
Christina Popper claims she sells her body because she can't find any other work. Do you believe her?
Of course I do. Her story is exactly what I want my readers to understand. We live in an intolerant and divided nation.
Do you think things will ever change, Mr. Darby?
I believe the situation can only improve. And now that women can vote, I'm convinced things will change.
Do you need assistance?
That would be nice of you, Doctor.
Toma
Who knows
remédio.
what I may have caught during my investigation.
If you persist in investigating the most pox-ridden boroughs of London, you must accept the risks.
Thank you, sir.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell.
Tá, já demos 2 remédios. Falta esse aqui. Que é enxaqueca que eu não consegui ainda. E tem esse cara aqui que tá com resfriado. Tem como rastrear ele? Richard Nitchercott.
Benegrito.
Would you like me to revive you? Pay me advice and I'll be jailed.
Ele tá atrás da igreja, não é? É, ele fica atrás da igreja.
Limão e...
Como é que é? Passa um... Como é que é o nome do coisinho? Pomada verde, assim.
Aí, pra mim tem tudo apto. Já viu o grito dele?
Ah, eu vou precisar beber sangue agora, ferrou. Cadê esse Richard, velho? Ai, espero que ele não tenha morrido.
Ele é um...
Ali.
Good evening, Mr. Nethercott.
And good evening to you too, my good sir. Can I be of any help?
Do you need medical attention, sir?
It may be wise to let you prescribe me something. I don't feel like I should.
I understand your appetite for words and macabre beauty, sir. But you should be more careful.
The nutrition of my mind is more important than my physical health. But I appreciate your concern.
Tem mais que falta. Aqui.
Did you know the mute florist is a member of a secret society?
No, I didn't. But I thank you for this information, sir. For it only enriches the mystery surrounding the precious camellia.
I fear you are a hopeless romantic, Mr. Nethercott.
Guilty as charged, Dr. Reed.
Are you not curious? Is there not more you wish to know?
That girl has not an ounce of malice in her.
Mano,
Whatever she
essa
may be
mina...
hiding, it's certain to be
A
for the
Camélia
benefit
tá
of
muito
most,
suspeita,
if not all.
cara.
Olha o nome também.
Tell me, Mr. Nethercott, why seek inspiration in Whitechapel?
The place is not beautiful per se, but how to explain it? Stirring and challenging.
In what way
Ela tá
exactly?
bem suspeita,
The struggle
na
by
real.
gaslight, the barren smiles and the added hunger under the rain.
If you say so.
Such vibrant antagonism and vivid paradox, the stripped humanity raged across each street.
Vivid, of course, yes. And what about the poignant distress?
Oh yes, the poignant distress. You see what I mean, don't you? That's what I want to write about, and that's what Whitechapel is made of.
Do you not think it a little morbid?
On the contrary, sir, Whitechapel is full of life, full of beauty. Just like my dear muse, the wonderful Camellia.
What can you tell me about Camellia?
Not much, and that's the beauty of it. She can't speak, you know. She's a locked mystery who exhales kindness and sweetness.
Perhaps you're just afraid to find out the truth about your muse.
One day, perhaps, I'll ask her to come with me. But will she still be my wild flower of Whitechapel?
Ele é apaixonado pela Camila.
And have you ever tried to learn more about her? Where she lives? How she survives? Whom she may know?
Maybe I prefer she remains an enigma. Reality can be so dull, don't you think?
Tá bom, beloved.
I'll leave you alone, sir.
Que foi, Vlad? Tá desconfortável? Ai, meu Deus. Voltei. Tô aqui nas sombras desde o início, tô sabendo. Oi, Marquinhos, tudo bom? Cara, então não tava aparecendo os comentários pra mim aqui na Twitch. Eu tive que fechar o aplicativo e atualizar de novo. Desculpa se eu não respondi vocês não, viu? I'm sorry. Como é que vocês estão? Agora que eu fui ver que não tava atualizado o chat aqui. Boa mesmo. Gente, eu tô assim, ó. Pasmo, porque... Foi, Vlad? Isso aqui. Evento. Correu um evento desconhecido. E... Preciso achar... 3 pessoas ainda aqui no mapa. Eu botei 3 em tratamento e esse cara da enxaqueca vai ficar pra depois, porque eu não sei como fazer esse remédio ainda. Preciso achar. Quer dizer que se eu... Vai lá naquele evento desconhecido. Quer dizer que se eu for... Se eu resolver todos os problemas depois, eu consigo matar eles e ficar de boa. Rato. Rato, rato, rato. Oh. Vai embora, Padre Tobias. Esses caras estão brigando de novo, cara.
Come. You again? What do you want this time?
É. Nada. Nada.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never lose your focus, do you?
Nada. Nada. Ah, eu posso comprar coisinhas.
Right then. Show me what you have.
Tudo um... Putz, tá caro esses bagulhos. Tá dinheiro ainda. Ratinhos, ratinhos.
Que isso, ratinho?
Claro, cadê vocês, ratinhos? Tô sempre ouvindo uma criança, velho.
Aonde?
Tô sempre ouvindo um bebê chorando nesse jogo.
Credo.
Uhum. O jogo não trava, pelo amor de Deus. Não, não dá pra vir por aqui, tem que ficar pelo outro lado. Feito assim. O que, Vlad? Ó, aqui. Tô tentando achar pra ver onde eles estão. Cara, esse cara da enxaqueca aqui, logo logo ele vai morrer, porque eu não sei. Ah. O negócio que aconteceu tá aqui por perto.
Enxaqueca se cura com marreta.
Tem um cara morto aqui.
I cannot enter.
Putz. Putz, ferrou porque eu não consigo ir no evento porque...
When science fails you, this elixir will give you faith again.
Tá, vou ter que descer então e ir lá no negócio mesmo. 207 metros. Nossa, tá longe. Onde? Por onde? E nada dos ratos, cara. Eu nunca vim aqui, eu acho. Já. Olha ali o lobisomem. Caraca! Feio! Eu desmarcar esse negócio aqui. Vamos ver onde é que é. Cento e 139 metros. Opa! Ouvi ratos. Aqui.
I can't believe I'm doing this. have this thirst for blood. This is despicable.
Menos mal. Cara, por aqui.
Human blood. Whoever left these marks did so deliberately.
Vamos lá. Se eu tô preparada? Não.
Kill it, boy! Get back in the tree!
O jogo não buga, pelo amor de Deus.
Cross the leaves, boys! I'll take it, man! I'll kill it! That's what you do!
Não tem nada com eles. Que sede. Tô ouvindo alguma coisa. Where it is? Ei, sim, vou tomar um banho e preparar as coisas pra aqui. Uma ótima live pra vocês. Nos vemos em breve. Claro, vou passar lá sim, Red. O jogo não tranca, pelo amor de Deus. Foi, Vlad. É ali mesmo, eu que tô bem louca. Tô ouvindo. Bicho. É ali mesmo. Mano, o que que é aquilo? São os caras? Não. Vou testar agora, galera. A fera. Se o jogo não travar. Acho que travou. Na real, rolou até um... Caiu aqui o meu CG. Bem. Ver rapidinho. Foi, Vlad. Voltamos. O joguinho. Ai. Olha isso. Ele atacou todo mundo de uma vez. Gostei. Oh, really like it. GG. Propriedade abandonada. Ih.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Eu já não tinha vindo aqui. Eu já tinha vindo aqui, sim. Não me adiantou de nada porque eu só entrei e gastei meu sangue em vão. Eu achei que realmente tinha uma saída pro outro lado. E aí quando isso acontece?
I have this thirst for blood.
Ranço. Achei que ia ser alguma coisa interessante, mas pelo jeito não. Tá. Sinto que estamos chegando perto. 59, 54. Ó. Hospital. Ah, tá, eu saí do bagulho. Ai! Ai, tem esse cara da fadiga aqui. Tem que dar remédio pra esses outros.
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Menos mal, fui parar no hospital.
Any news about my operation?
Is there anything else that's bothering you? Can I help in any way?
Really? Why has no one else asked me that since I got here? I thought I was in a hospital.
Unfortunately, you are not the only person who needs help. And complaining about it won't do you any good.
Well, perhaps you're right, Dr. Reed. I'm sure if me missus was still alive, she wouldn't be happy with me going on like this.
Toma remédios.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
My sweet girl. Reads me like a book. I never could keep anything from her.
Good evening, Doctor. How is my son doing?
Your son wished to die, Beatrice. Why did you hide such crucial information?
Are you not aware suicide is a crime? Mortimer could be thrown in jail. I can't let that happen. I won't.
I understand you fear the legal consequences, Mrs. Goswick. But don't you realize
Peraí que a tua voz tá muito baixa agora. Tu tá falando muito...
Ah, eu disse 101 minutos de transmissão já.
Eu?
Eu?
Ah, tu. Ah, eu já tô 2 horas e 25. Quero ver se eu consigo entregar esses remédios aqui, salvar, falar com essa mulher e deixar essa por hoje.
Do you require medical attention as well, Mrs. Goswick?
Do you know you're the only one who's asked me this? No, I don't feel well, actually.
Despite what you think about this place, I can tell you with absolute certainty, taking this will help you recover.
Well, at least your reputation seems well deserved.
Ué.
Unfortunately, I
Bem que a internet ultimamente esses dias não anda muito boa.
Sim, tem dias que tá toda bugada. Então fica muito lagado.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
Sim. Melhorei. Tá em recuperação. Consegui as 3 pistas. Falta uma pista. Saudável. Fadiguento. Outro fadiguento. Resfriado. Cara, eu já falei acho que tudo que eu tinha que falar contigo, mas deixa eu só dar uma olhada.
Mr. Goswick. How are you?
I'm okay.
Aqui.
Admit it, Mortimer. Your mother had you hospitalized here because you tried to kill yourself.
Yes, it's true.
All right then. This is the first time we've really shared information about your case.
Qual a cura pro ranço? Ah, isso eu já não sei.
Dr. Reed.
You can trust me. I won't report you to the authorities. My one and only concern is your health.
I guess I should thank you then.
Can I help you in any way, Mr. Goswick?
I wrote a letter for my mother. She was supposed to read it after my death. But I suppose she doesn't have to read it now.
I see. And is this letter still near the place where you tried to take your own life?
Yes. And I don't want anyone reading my last words.
I mean, I'm still here. If you bring me back that letter, then perhaps we'll talk.
Chave de Mortimer Goswell. Ah, isso quer dizer que eu tenho que buscar alguma coisa depois, então.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful, I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'll let you get some rest, then.
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with me.
I will not let you down, my boy.
Aqui, fadiguento.
I'm quite busy right now, Dr. Reed.
Do you need my assistance?
Don't be ridiculous.
Vai lá comer,
I'm
neném.
capable of dealing with this myself. I've just not taken the time to do so.
Mentira! Toma o remédio.
Then you are lucky that I have taken the time to do so. Consider it a gesture of solidarity between professionals.
I wish this hospital could have received as much attention from you, Dr. Reed. We do not see you in surgery very often.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
Tá, -1. Resfriado.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Do you need medical help yourself, nurse?
I'm afraid I've contracted some illness, Dr. Reed.
Not under my watch, nurse. Take this. You'll feel better.
Thank you, Dr. Reed.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Não. Se é pra morder, vai lá comer. Vai. Saudável. Saudável. Lá atrás. Lá na rua. Vai, como é que... Tá aí no chão, pai.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor.
Ela pegou
Still trying
doença
to
de
save
perder a
lives?
sobrancelha, sim.
Do you need any medical help, Milton?
I'm afraid I do.
E ela não tem
Like everyone
sobrancelha.
in this hospital. It's a sad state of affairs when even the hospital workers are worried about disease.
Putz, vou ter que ir lá fazer mais.
I'll see you later.
Yeah. I'm
Deixa
sure you
eu-
say the same thing to everyone in town.
Eu
I'd like
comprar
to
mais
see
coisas
your
aqui.
goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
Ah, ele tem coisa só de arma. Fadiga. Acho que ainda tem o remédio de fadiga, deixa eu ver.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Pô, todo mundo tá com fadiga.
Do you require medical assistance, nurse?
I will be fine. As soon as I can get some sleep.
Pô, vou ter que fazer um monte de remédio de
I
fadiga,
will see
então.
you later, nurse. Goodbye, nurse. Call me if
Vou
you
lá em
need
cima fazer, então. É o que... Olha aqui, ó. Tem 1, 2, 3 de fadiga. E eu tenho que fazer mais um de... E eu tenho um de resfriado, só que eu tenho que achar o cara. Onde ele tá? Não, saudável. Deve tá... Fadiga. Deve estar lá dentro. tem um desconhecido ali. Ah, só que eu tenho que falar com ela. Tá, vou falar com ela aqui já. Matou o velho.
I would ask you to avert your eyes, sir. Or did you not know it was rude to stare?
I knew it.
Speak up, Dr. Reed. I like a man who speaks his mind.
Ela tava se alimentando do cara.
You killed him. He trusted you. And you killed him.
Spare me your sarcasm, Jonathan. You are but newly born in this world.
We are vampires. We live by leeching the blood from weaker prey. We are Darwin's next chapter. His cynical and perhaps ultimate expression.
Eu esperava que ela matasse o velho que ela tava cuidando.
I have not been observed sustaining myself for many decades. I have to say I'm a trifle embarrassed.
Anyway, I have concluded my inquiries concerning your blackmailer.
I see. Please excuse my agitated state. Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't let anyone see me in this condition.
The case is closed, your ladyship. The person who took advantage of you has, shall we say, seen the error of her ways.
So who was it?
My lady. The blackmailer was dealt with using the utmost discretion.
Ah, a chantagista era
Thank you, Jonathan.
E fazer o negócio da vida dela, da missão.
You have proven your loyalty.
Era aquela enfermeira que tava lá, da Romênia.
Please accept a small token of my appreciation.
Thank you, my lady.
If you have an inclination to learn more about vampires or your current situation,
tava chantageando sobre a vida dela e contar que ela era vampiro.
Why does Dr. Swansea allow you to feed on the patients of the hospital?
Dr. Swansea is a good and compassionate man. He is trying to find a solution for our hunger. Until that happens, he is clever enough to understand that I only feed upon the dying.
What do you know about this Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole?
The Brotherhood is well known amongst London Vampire Society. As long as our kind is discreet, and as long as they do not interfere, we have come to a mutual understanding.
And no one suspected you of the murders?
As you well know, suspicion has recently fallen on me of killing for pleasure. But you have my word, Jonathan. I take no pleasure in taking a life.
I know this is beyond the pale, but may I inquire your age?
Really? And I thought you were gentlemen. If you must know, I'm 27. I've been 27 for a long time now, and 27 I shall remain.
And who bestowed upon you this eternal youth?
My maker. He left this isle a long time ago.
Very well. But I believe there is more to this than you are saying.
A lady has to have some secrets.
Quem é o maker dela?
Why did you
Será que é o mesmo maker dele?
I could hardly stand by and watch such a promising young blood as yourself be torn to shreds by some gutter scowl.
Não foi o William que me criou.
What type of vampire is a skull?
Not a true vampire. The deformed offspring of lesser vampires. It is a shame these creatures run wild, slaves to their baser instincts.
William Bishop wasn't the vampire that created me then?
No, Jonathan. Whatever their strength and demeanor, Skulls are the progeny of careless vampires. It cannot be the other way round.
Cara, tem muita pergunta.
I've been hearing a voice talking in my head. Is this some kind of insanity? It feels like the voice of the vampire that created me.
Hush. Tell no one this. It would be unwise to talk of such things amongst British immortals. Speak no more of your maker.
How could this cause offense?
Only the powerful immortals can mentally call to their progeny. No vampire or hunter will sleep easy, knowing that an unidentified elder is stalking the streets of London.
Excuse my forwardness, but are you
Óbvio que
my
não, né?
maker?
Me? Goodness, no. Only a foolish immortal would create a progeny without taking precaution, and I'm no fool.
I don't understand. Why was I created and then left for dead?
That is a question only the one who made you can answer. It's not normal
Ai,
practice.
cara, quem é o Maker?
I doubt even if you find him, he will answer you, considering how cruelly he treated you.
So me being a vampire could have been a mistake.
Pode ter sido acidente,
I very
sim.
much doubt it, Jonathan. Contrary to the legends, it is not as simple to make another vampire by just biting someone.
I'd like to avoid creating another vampire by mistake anyway. Tell me, how is it done?
The process is dangerous. It could even kill your potential progeny. If you did decide to sire an offspring, they must drink of your blood, Jonathan.
A vampire? Is that what I am?
Não, não, tá um lobisomem, beloved.
Such a crude word, defined by penny dreadfuls and drunken hacks. No. You are now an Ekon, and that you shall remain.
Ekon?
So we are Ekons. How can I identify us amongst other vampires?
How to put it? All Ekon are vampires, but all vampires are not Ekon. We are but a branch of the immortal tree.
Are you an Ekon too?
Respondeu bastante
I am.
perguntas.
We are the closest thing to what man refers to as vampires. Forget what you think you know about us.
I've been away from London and England for 3 years. This isn't the city I remember.
Things have gone from bad to worse here, Jonathan. I've lived in this city for a long time, and I've never seen it like this.
What is it you fear?
Fear has long since flown this form. But there is
Deve ter
something
alguma coisa
malevolent
pior.
circling us.
Eu vou ter que
I
enfrentar.
feel fear is merely waiting in the wings.
Errei.
The Spanish flu has hit London that bad.
Yes, but it's not just that. I've heard things. Things I've not heard for a very, very long time. There are whispers in the shadows. Something far worse than the Spanish flu is here in the city.
Are there many vampires here in London?
Immortals are of a rare breed, and we often tend to hide. But you may occasionally meet some of us at night.
Will they all be as affable as you, my lady?
I do not see why not. But remember, even the shark smiles before he bites.
That sounds like a lesson from experience.
Vampire politics are as intricate and sometimes tedious as a game of chess in a gentleman's club. I've learned from experience it is best to decline to play.
Do you know any of them? Have you an idea of the identity of the vampire who attacked me?
You mean your maker? No, Jonathan, I have no clue. But I fear he or she is as careless as cruel. To let you discover your new condition by yourself.
What do you mean?
Every now and then, You may discover an immortal in the deep of the night, but we are a rare and reclusive breed.
Eita.
Our progeny is almost never accidental.
Interessante.
When I awoke, changed, I was chased and attacked by vampire hunters. Prepared and well-trained.
Though I can't be certain, more than likely it was the once glorious Guard of Priwen.
Really like it.
You make them sound like some sort of cult.
More a society, and like all the best ones, a secret society. I thought them almost gone, but it seemed they have been recruiting.
Once glorious, but still dangerous.
They have seen better days, but all fanatics are dangerous. You would be wise to stay clear. They are sworn to destroy our kind.
Nossa senhora.
I bid you farewell.
Ela respondeu bastante coisa. Amiga,
I
obrigada.
must quickly analyze the blood I took from Nurse Crane's patient.
Tá, vamos lá então. O que eu preciso? Preciso catar essas coisas que tem aqui. Pegar tudo que é item possível.
I will not let you down, my boy. You always knew the words to calm the children. How can we be sure we're making a difference? As for me, what a blundering idiot.
Depois disso tudo, quase consigo senti-la. Então, quanta fadiga. Ai, ai. Eu vou vasculhar aqui os armários. Preciso da chave.
It's locked.
Lembra que aqui dentro, lá no outro negócio, tinha... É que se eu for ali... Necrotério de novo... Tá. Vou tentar ver se aqui nesse necrotério tem mais alguma coisa. Putz, sério? E reseta os bichos? Não deixa ele lá comer o fio, pelo amor de Deus. Fecha a porta. Tá, vamos lá em cima então. Já vasculhei tudo.
It's locked, all right.
Tem umas caixas que são trancadas. O boneco tá andando sozinho, gente. Vou fazer aqui, vou botar mais uma autofagia. Como é que é essa aqui? Tenacidade, aumentar o vigor. Dois. Vamos só fazer os negócios, fazer os remédios. Ó, galera curada. Putz, tem mais gente ainda. É zoeira, né? Fadiga. Cefaleia. Fadiga. Cefaleia. Fadiga. Ah, mas que coisa, tchê. Esse sistema aqui é horrível. Ah, menos mal que eu consegui melhorar. Fadiga.
Razvan Vasily
Peraí.
was infected.
Fadiga são quantos? Ai, meu Deus. O bagulho anda sozinho. Seis. Baleia são 2.
By Spanish flu, but also has the highly unstable blood of the Skulls. Is the London vampire epidemic transmitted through the flu? I should talk to Dr. Swansea about it.
Acho que eu não tenho de cefaleia. Ferrou. Meu Deus do céu! Sei lá, amigo, sei lá. Eu juro que eu tô tentando fazer essa fucking porra de soro. Mas... triste porque tentando cadê o povo doente? Para, Vlad! Que coisa! Vai pra lá! Mas que coisa, Vlad! Vlad tá, olha, hoje tá complicado. Tava vindo pra cá, já até me perdi, ó.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Such a pleasure to see you again.
Do you need medical attention?
Well, the proximity of the dead is not the most healthy company, even if the quiet can be appreciated.
Don't take too many risks with your health, Mr. Chidana. None of us are immune to this disease.
And that is a good thing. Death and disease is a constant reminder of our mortality. But you have my thanks, Dr. Reed.
Please show me what you have to sell.
Of course. It's just trinkets and curios, really. But I'm sure they can be useful.
Que enxaqueca. What? Desde quando eu tinha isso aqui? Cadê os outros? Aqui tá de cefaleia. Não sei como é que eu vou fazer pra te curar, velho.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
Do you need any medical help, Milton?
I'm afraid I do. Like everyone in this hospital. It's a sad state of affairs when even the hospital workers are worried about disease.
Our job brings us into contact with all kinds of infections, Milton. There's no shame in being ill while you're in a hospital.
That's easy for you to say, Doctor. I get the feeling you don't fall sick often. But thanks, anyway.
O que mais que falta? Mais que falta? Esse aqui. Esse é cefaleia. Esse aqui é resfriado. Onde é que tá esse cara? Lá embaixo. A véia. Doutor. Essa é cefaleia. A véia. Putz, a véia. Ah, tá aqui.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Do you require medical assistance, Nurse?
I will be fine as soon as I can get some sleep.
Nurse, you won't be able to help people if you're sick. Take this, and do try to get some rest.
I'll try, Dr. Reed. Thank you.
Goodbye, Nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Tá. Eu tenho que achar. Cefaleia, tá, velho? Não tem como te curar agora. O outro tá aqui embaixo. Resfriado aí, ó.
Hello again, Mr. Blight. I'm happy to see Mr. Thatcher is safe for now.
I'm eternally grateful, Doctor. We were total strangers and you helped us anyway. Can't thank you enough, sir.
Opa!
What caused your phobia of rats, Newton?
It happened last year following an artillery attack. I was trapped for 2 days in a hole under 2 dead soldiers. And there were rats.
Go on.
It started eating me as soon as I dozed. Gnawing at my ears, my fingers, lips. I couldn't move. Couldn't call for help.
I see.
No, you don't. You have no idea what it is to wake up buried under bodies. Fucking vermin eating your flesh.
Tô só finalizando isso aqui.
He found me and saved me.
What caused your phobia of rats, Newton?
It happened last year following an artillery attack.
Só quero entregar os
I was
remédios.
trapped for 2 days in a hole under 2 dead soldiers. And there were rats.
Go on.
It started eating me as soon as I dozed.
Ué?
Gnawing at my
Mesma
ears,
coisa?
my fingers, lips.
Por que ele tá falando a mesma coisa 2 vezes?
Couldn't move. Couldn't call for help.
I see.
No, you don't.
Opa,
You
eu
have
não
no
vi.
idea what it is to wake up buried under bodies. Fucking vermin eating your flesh. Oswald. He found me and saved me.
You and Oswald were buried alive during the war. Tell me about it.
Yeah. It was last summer. A shell hit our trench and we were buried for a week.
How did you survive for a week?
Luckily for us,
Larga.
there were rations and water in the tunnel. It was an outpost, see. Since then, Oswald's not keen on being inside for too long.
Oswald seemed far more traumatized than you by the event.
It wasn't the first time it happened to me. Surviving it again gave me strength. You believe that?
Meu gato tá bem louco.
How do you feel about Oswald Thatcher? You are more than friends, aren't you?
I love him. I love Oswald. We knew we wouldn't survive the war without each other.
Para!
But I am terrified, Doctor.
What frightens you so much?
What if people find out? Oswald says I'm ashamed, but it ain't that. It's more, well, you know.
Meu
I never
Deus do
thought I'd
céu.
love a man.
Opa!
Enjoy your love. And enjoy life as long as you can, Mr. Blight. Don't let anyone tell you who you should love or how you should love them.
I appreciate your kind words, sir. But it ain't that easy. It's all so new to me.
Tá. Caralho, muita...
You are always welcome at the Pembroke Hospital. As a former officer, I'll be honored to welcome a fellow veteran.
I'm not giving up on bringing Oswald back to the hospital. I just need to convince him that he needs some help.
Perhaps he needs to reach that decision by himself.
Could you speak to him? He doesn't usually listen to doctors, but perhaps because you've been through it, you can talk him round.
What can you tell me about the war, Mr. Blight? If you want to speak about it, of course.
War was... Well, you know, sir. The stench of death everywhere. Your mates lying bleeding in the mud. Just praying to make it through and get home.
Gente, Vlad
Bloody nightmare.
tirou praticamente toda a
I
areia
fought in
da
France too.
caixinha de areia.
I served as a field surgeon, but it was not uncommon to repel an assault, especially at night.
Yeah. The first time I was wounded,
Tem que
I had to
limpar todo o
protect the
chão agora
infirmary
da
from
coisa
hostiles.
lá.
Twice.
Did you know Oswald Thatcher before the war?
No. We met in the battlefield. I think we're in the same boat to France. We've stuck together ever since.
Why do you stay here now that Mr. Thatcher's back?
It's complicated. Since the war, Oswald's been really nervous with the idea of entering any hospital. And me, I've got my own issues.
Can you speak about them?
Rats, sir. Even seeing one, they turn me. Just want to run. It's that fear that stopped me from going after Oswald when he left.
Tá, amigo.
Do you need medical attention, sir?
Afraid so. In the war, I was always worried about picking up something, getting some infection.
Toma teu remedinho.
Got that fear in London now.
Throughout history, some diseases have done more damage to armies than any weapon created by man. You were wise to be careful.
You're working at the Pembroke Hospital, aren't you? That's a good enough reason for me and Oswald to go there.
Ó.
Goodbye, Mr. Blight. Take care of yourself.
Cadê o outro? Lá embaixo? Tá. Com certeza deve estar. Ué? Saudável, moço? Mas vem cá, vamos conversar.
Good evening.
Evening, Dr. Reed.
Newton is conflicted about his feelings towards you. Would you like to talk about it, Oswald?
It makes me sad and angry. It feels like the beautiful thing we have is somehow tainted. It hurts to see him so
Cara tá falando
lost.
His
sozinho.
love for you is genuine. I'm certain he wasn't lying to me when he expressed his feelings for you.
Newton still has to accept it, knowing he'll be seen as a queer, a fairy, less than a man in those simple-minded bigots' eyes. Though he's more of a man than they'll ever be, so fuck them all.
Goodbye, Mr. Thatcher. Try to take care of yourself.
Tá, quem mais que precisa? Ai, caralho, não era aqui. Medicado. Medicado. O resto é tudo cefaleia, né? Só os dois cefaleia. Bom, é isso aí. Então agora vamos lá salvar. Cara, não quer comprar essas sucatas que eu tenho aqui?
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
Eu tenho umas bagulho aleatório. Bem que não, deixa. Vou lá em cima. Vou ali então. Ver o que mais dá pra fazer na mesa. Provavelmente eu vou ter que ir lá naquele outro distrito, né? Da cama. Ô, bosta. É isso. A fabricação de armas, acho que agora eu consigo só... Ô, merda, não é aqui. Deixa eu ver como é que tá o outro distrito. Aqui, esse cara tá com fadiga. Depois eu vou lá. A ideia onde é? Mas é no começo do jogo. E esse cara tá com enxaqueca aqui. Mas não sei como é que é. E tem que achar essas pessoas aqui depois. Investigações locais, ó. Rastrear essa pessoa depois. Interessante. Causa da morte. Devolva a faca para o seu... Já fiz. Ah, cada 2 cidadãos tem uma missão. É tipo missões secundárias, será? Missão. Para! Tá. Lista? Ah, eu tenho que ler aquelas cartas. Por isso. Peraí. Ai, bosta. Vlad, não. Vlad, no PC não, Vlad. Cara, é horrível ficar pegando esse negócio aqui. Controle. Ó. Ok. Bora descansar. Tem 400 XP. O que tem de 300 XP aqui? Autofagia? E 300, não. Mordida. Beleza. Confirmar. Beleza. Então é isso aí, galera. Vamos ver como é que ficou o distrito. Estável. 89%. Cara, eu preciso de como que eu vou fazer essas... Tem alguma coisa que tá faltando. Eita porra. Tá de brinks comigo, né? Fadiga. Tá. Nevralgia. Tá merda. Que é o mais grave, o Whitechapel. Ferrou, galera. Bom, é isso aí, então. Nós vamos ficar por aqui. Por hoje. Espero que vocês tenham gostado. Gostarem aí. Espero que vocês estejam nas próximas lives. Eu tô gostando do joguinho. Não sei o que vai acontecer na próxima parte da história. E evitem a fadiga. Sim, fadiga. Beijo no quarto de vocês. Até mais tarde. Deixa eu ver quem que eu vou dar o raid. Vou dar no tio Vaguinho aqui que tá online. Brades. Vamos lá, então. Um beijinho. Fiquem até a próxima.